Hi and welcome to Here and There on Conway Corp Channel 5. I'm Jeff Matthews. This month we're joined by Stefanie Brazile from 501 Life magazine. The July issue features a cover story about Lieutenant Colonel Jason Smedley. He's going to lead up the new Arkansas Military and First Responders Academy. Also, Amanda Horton stops by with the details of another huge season at Reynolds at UCA. And Tim Roach from 5 Sports visits with David Grimes about the next class of the Wampus Cat Sports Hall of Fame and the details about the induction banquet that's set for August 18th. Let's get to it. Here and There starts now.
You've arrived at your destination.
Stefanie Brazile from 501 Life magazine is with us. You know her. She is our friend that's here every single month, and we love visiting with her about the latest issue of the magazine. It is the Salute to Service issue, the July 2023 issue. And on the cover is Lieutenant Colonel Jason Smedley, who's leading a new initiative, the Arkansas Military and First Responders Academy. Tell me about him and about that.
In this magazine, we start and end with veterans, and we have so many great stories about people who are serving their community, but we thought it was fitting to feature Lieutenant Colonel Smedley. He's an Arkansas native. He worked for a congressman in Washington at one point, graduated from Howard University, was a Marine, is a volunteer firefighter, is involved with agriculture, really embodies Arkansas, and he really cares about youth and is a part of this new charter school in Pulaski County.
And embodies service. It sounds like, I mean, from every level of his life. Someone that we're very excited about around here because we know her family well is Allie Bell. Allie Bell is our new Miss Arkansas teen.
We're so proud that she's from Conway. Her parents are Rob and Kara Bell, and she is a Conway High School graduate headed to Ouachita Baptist University next year. And she really cares about her platform, which is finish what he started. Opioid abuse awareness. It's personal for her. You can read that article and find out more about that. But she begins her year of service now as Miss Arkansas teen.
So a lot of discussions about something happening just under a year from now. In 2024, it's the solar eclipse, and we're kind of ground zero, at least we're a part of ground zero for this solar eclipse that's coming.
Yes, and as a business owner, I'm hearing so much about it, but we weren't sure if readers knew a lot about it. So we're so glad that Dr. Clay Sherrod of the Arkansas Sky Observatories on Petit Jean Mountain has written an article that's in this magazine, and he tells us all about this eclipse for April 8th, 24. Why is it special? Because it's the longest one in our lifetime. And I heard Mayor Castleberry recently say that every hotel room in this community and in Morrilton are booked up for like 3 days before. We're all so fortunate we'll be able to go home to our houses at night, but we can enjoy everything that the community has planned during those times and also be a part of total darkness for about 4 minutes.
Next April.
Yes, April 8th. It's a Monday, and that's why people are booking out for the weekend before. We include for readers a map that shows exactly the path it will take across Arkansas and what is a solar eclipse exactly. So
I remember one from when I was a kid. It was in the 70s. We were in Wyoming, and we did the thing where you had the box and you looked through the little hole and you saw it happen. And so I'm sure the technology has changed since the 70s, and so but you have to be safe.
I think there's a lot of glasses out there, and I'm sure we'll hear more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be fun. The Conway Alliance for the Arts are celebrating creators. Tell me about that.
We love featuring artists. They deserve so much praise for what they give to the community. And they have announced the Arts Award winners for this year, from kindergarten through adult, and their CAFTA advocate for the year. So we include all those photos and some bios on the winners.
Summer's a good time to be reading. Sometimes it's too hot to do much else. And a UCA professor, a retired UCA professor, has written several books about legendary figures. Tell me more about these books and about him.
Yes, Jay Rood. He's traveled to Europe, I think, for inspiration and also authenticity in his books, even though they're fictional. He writes about people like King Arthur, Lancelot, Merlin, and Robin Hood, characters we're familiar with. He has written several series about these characters. So he's a neat person to follow and someone to check out, Jay Rood.
Your person of the month is someone who is also serving and has served for a very long time. It's Conway High School's JROTC leader, Lieutenant Colonel Thomas H. Speck.
You can learn so much about him through this interview. He's our person of the month, so it's a brief article. But one thing that I found really interesting is that only about 12% of students who are in JROTC, go on to be in the military. But he said it really does impact students to be great citizens and also in whatever career field they go into.
Very good. So we'll look for that in the issue as well.
Yes.
Stephanie, thank you as always. We appreciate you. See you next month.
Thank you for having me.
Express yourself with beautiful custom jewelry from Brooks Fine Jewelry.
Come on down to Brooks Fine Jewelry and take a look at some of the new products that we offer. We have a new extensive line of men's watches, and we invite all those watch crazies out there that want to come in and take a look. They're here for you to look at and try on. As a full-service jewelry store, we offer hand engraving and laser engraving for just about anything you can imagine. So come on down to Brooks Fine Jewelry and visit with us. We look forward to seeing you.
Brooks Fine Jewelry, your jewelry makers in downtown Conway.
Welcome back to Here and There. We are joined by the Executive Director of UCA Public Appearances. She is Amanda Horton. Amanda was with us a year ago to talk about the Reynolds Performance Hall. You're still calling. How should we refer to what we're going to talk about?
That's a great question. The majority of our performances are still held at Reynolds Performance Hall, although we are going to present a few in Wingate Center for Fine and Performing Arts, our brand new performing arts center on campus.
So when we talk about season tickets and individual tickets, that's still
it's still a part of public appearances, and you come to the Reynolds Performance Hall box office to do that. So Reynolds is a great way to address that.
Well, Amanda's the expert. That's who we're going to talk to now. The 23-24 season has been announced, and my goodness, it looks like a lot of fun.
Thank you. We've had a ton of feedback and positive remarks about it. People are really excited about Wheel of Fortune.
Yes.
And you know, the one thing about Wheel of Fortune is I've had people tell me that their 5-year-old and them watch it every day.
Yes.
And then I've had people as old as 85 tell me they watch it every day. So it appeals to the masses.
All right, and so we know, is he coming? Is she? This is not a Pat Sajak and Vanna White thing,
It
right?
is not, unfortunately. There are only 2 wheels in the entire world, however.
Really?
One that's on set in LA and then one that travels, and that's the one we're going to get. There will be a special guest host that is supposed to be a big name. We've not even been told who that's going to be yet. So watch our website and our Facebook page, Instagram. We'll certainly announce that when we have it. But you can buy a ticket and you might leave with a large vacation or cash in your pocket. I mean, there will be winners that night that will walk away with money or prizes.
And it will feel very familiar. It's going to feel like the show.
Yes,
How
it certainly
fun.
will.
Okay, now when is that show?
That show is October the 30th.
Okay.
I do not have all these memorized.
That's
but
fine.
Yes, October the 30th.
Okay, October 30th for Wheel of Fortune.
Yes.
What are some of the other shows that are generating interest?
Our Broadway series is always a big hit, and it sure is this year because we've got some great classics with Annie that, you know, every age will love as well. But also if we have Chicago for our more adult audience, and that's the 25th anniversary of Chicago, so it'll be a neat year to come and see it. But we've got something that's really interesting. I saw it in New York on Broadway called The Cher Show. And who doesn't love Cher?
Yeah.
You know, Cher has 6 generations of hits, 60 years of hits. And I'll tell you the one thing I remembered about the show that I'm so excited about bringing to Conway is the Bob Mackie gowns.
Okay.
They change clothes no more than 30 times during the show, and the flashiest, most, you know, elaborate costumes you can find. But yes, everybody loves Cher, and there's been a lot of excitement about that. And
when you start to dig into her music, you realize, I know that song. I know that song.
And
so
can
it'll
you
be a night of
believe
that.
That she's actually been creating music for 60 years?
You know, when you said that a moment ago, I thought, no, I wouldn't have believed that.
Yeah.
Very
So
cool.
she's an icon. And we have Little Women the musical. But, you know, if Broadway's not your thing, we also have some really neat musicians too that I want to touch on. The Bacon Brothers.
Okay.
And
yes, I want to touch on that as well.
When we put our brochure out, they are right front center of the brochure, and everybody recognizes that face because it's Kevin Bacon.
Yes.
Yes, Kevin Bacon is a musician. He and his brother Michael have this group that they tour with called the Bacon Brothers.
Okay.
And they play everything from country to soul to rock and roll. It'll be a really fun night and be great to have him here.
So we'll all have 1 degree of Kevin Bacon when we
right.
see him live there along with his brother.
Absolutely. So we're excited about that. And then we're opening up the Wingate Center for Fine and Performing Arts with Ben Folds.
Oh, wow. That's going to be in there.
Yes.
Okay, that's
So
awesome. I love Ben Folds.
I know that Ben Folds could probably sell Reynolds out.
Yeah.
The concert hall is much smaller than the Reynolds Performance Hall. It only holds about 470 people. But we really wanted to open that that hall up with a very special artist, and of course he is that.
Yes.
He's done a little bit of everything. He's a musician's musician, and he's just amazing. So
Well,
excited
the
to have him.
sound of that show in that space will be.
It'll be Ben and a piano.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
It'll be
Okay.
really great.
Very cool.
Yes.
What else can we be looking forward to as far as the season goes?
So we love the Conway Symphony Orchestra,
Yes.
and we love to present them, and that's what we're going to do. And this year it's with Batman, the full-length
wow.
musical. It's Michael Keaton's Batman.
Okay.
So see how this makes you feel. Michael Keaton's Batman is now 35 years old.
Well, I'll just need just a moment.
I know.
Really?
Yes. It's the 35th anniversary of that movie.
Okay.
And so the producers are really pushing that out, but we're excited to have that and the symphony. If you've never experienced a movie with live musicians,
Yeah.
it's really unique and unlike any musical experience, because it just makes you feel like you're a part of that soundtrack as you hear the live music going on the stage.
Okay, so that leads me to ask this question. So the film is shown while the
Yes.
orchestra's
We drop
playing?
a huge screen behind the orchestra, behind the symphony.
Yeah.
And you're watching the movie. It's right behind them, and you can also watch the musicians at
Okay.
the same time. So
Okay.
it's
Very
a great
neat.
experience. We've done this several times with them, and they always sell out. So get your tickets quickly for
Very
that.
good,
It
very
will sell
good.
out. Another one that we're doing that's similar to that is Coco. I don't know if you've seen the music,
Yeah.
the movie, the Disney movie Coco, but they are bringing a mariachi element band. It's not a complete mariachi band, but
Yeah.
a Hispanic band from New York City down to Reynolds, and that's going to be really exciting because people love that movie.
How do people get season tickets? Those are available right now.
They're available right now. They can call our box office or come see us.
Okay.
The box office phone number is 501-450-3265. We're located right on the UCA campus. And another way that people can do it is just jumping online. You can
Yeah.
do that at any time, uca.edu/Reynolds, and pick out your seats. And of course, you can call our staff if you have any questions at all, and we'd love to have you.
Season tickets now.
Yes.
Single tickets go on sale July 24th.
That is correct.
Okay.
So that'll be a busy day for us. The
Yeah, I
best way
bet.
to buy tickets that day will be online because
Okay.
we have long lines at the box office.
All right.
So jump online and grab your seats.
That sounds great.
Go look at our website right now because, we only talked about a
Yeah,
few
I was going to say.
things.
Thank you for what you do. Thank you for what
Thank
you bring
you.
to Conway.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Thanks, Amanda.
Express yourself with beautiful custom jewelry from Brooks Fine Jewelry.
Come on down to Brooks Fine Jewelry and take a look at some of the new products that we offer. We have a new extensive line of men's watches, and we invite all those watch crazies out there that want to come in and take a look. They're here for you to look at and try on. As a full-service jewelry store, we offer hand engraving and laser engraving for just about anything you can imagine. So come on down to Brooks Fine Jewelry and visit with us. We look forward to seeing you.
Brooks Fine Jewelry, your jewelry makers in downtown Conway.
Later this summer, the Wampus Cat Sports Hall of Fame will induct its next class, and Channel 5 Sports' Tim Roach joins us now, along with David Grimes from the Hall of Fame, with all of the details.
Thanks, Jeff. I'm happy to be talking with fellow Wampus Cat David Grimes, who leads all efforts related to the Wampus Cat Hall of Fame. And this year, we have another event planned for this incoming class. David, can you give us just a brief recap of how the Hall of Fame got started and then a little bit about the event?
Sure. Thanks, Tim. Thank you guys for having me. Yeah, the Wampus Cat Sports Hall of Fame inducted its first class in 2019. So this is the 5th year we've done that, and it was long overdue. We've got a great backlog of wonderful Wampus Cat players and coaches from 100 years, and we started honoring them about 5 years ago, and it's just a neat, fun process, and we're going to do 6 more this August. It's August 18th. If you've been to it before, it's pretty much the same setup. We have it at the Conway High School cafeteria. It's catered by Adams Catfish, and we just have a big time at 5:30 reception for an hour, and then 6:30 we have our banquet and dinner. And the 5:30 receptions always turned out to be a fantastic, fun time for folks just to visit and gather and see old friends.
Fantastic. Let's talk a little bit about this class, the 2023 class, starting with great Wampus Cat Jeff Courtway.
Oh yeah, Jeff graduated in 1979. He was a 3-sport athlete, but it's not the 3 most people might think of. He was football, basketball, and swimming. But if you realize his dad was Bob Courtway, swimming does fit. Jeff was all-state in football and basketball, just one of the toughest guys ever to play for Conway High. He played at UCA football, and then he went into coaching after that for a while.
Bliss Hendrickson Hildebrand.
Yeah, Bliss, she has a really unique story. She from seventh grade to senior year, she only lost 3 times in her specialty, the 400-meter run. She was a dandy, one of the best ever in the state of Arkansas, period, for high school runners. She won. She also ran the 4x400 relay, and that team never lost. She also ran the 4x100 relay, and they rarely lost. She was all state 3 years, went to the meet of champs all 3 years. And her final race in the meet of champs, she set a personal best, which is still the school record, 58 seconds.
Fantastic. Now, Bryce Mulder, PGA golfer.
Bryce Mulder. A lot of people have heard of Bryce. Bryce graduated in 1997 from Conway High, went to Georgia Tech, was a 4-time first-team All-American at Georgia Tech, had one of the absolute greatest college careers any golfer has ever had. At Conway, he was a state medalist in 1996, but then after he played Georgia Tech, he turned pro and had a wonderful career over a decade. He won on the nationwide tour in 2016, and then he went on the PGA Tour. He won a PGA Tour event in 2011, the Fries.com Open. He played in the PGA Championship. He played in the U.S. Open. He played in the British Open, and he retired after having 44 career top 10 finishes. So a wonderful golf career for Bryce.
Now let's talk about Robbie Robinson.
Robbie Robinson, Dr. Tom. He graduated in 1964. He won the Frank E. Robbins Award for Outstanding Senior Athlete that year. He was a trackster and a basketball player. And he was a 5'10" guard. He was All-State in 63 and 64. And he helped Conway win. They finished runner-up in the state finals in 1964. But a side note, back then they combined Class 2A and 3A. We were 2A. We had to play the 3A teams. And that year, they had 8 losses. 7 were to Class 3A teams. Only 1 loss to Class 2A. So at any rate, great career by Robbie. And he went on to play at UCA for a little while after that.
I played Pee Wee football in Conway, and one of my favorite referees was Stormy Smith.
Stormy Smith, he's a heck of a guy. Old timers still love to talk about Stormy for a lot of things. He talk about tough guys. This guy was tough. He was a football player, a basketballer, a javelin thrower, and a boxer. So you didn't want to mess with Stormy. But Stormy was a great guy. Heck of a football player, humongous size for back in the day. He graduated in 1951. But Bear Bryant recruited him to come play for Kentucky at the time. But he actually went to LSU. Stayed about a year and came back to UCA. And then a lot of people remember Stormy. He ran the Dairy Queen in the 60s, had the Stormy Burger. And as you mentioned, he co-founded the Pee Wee Football League that still exists today. So many Wampus Cat football players got their start in.
And one of my favorite dunkers in high school basketball, Robert Wright.
Robert Wright. Again, Frankie Robbins Award winner for top senior athlete that year. 6'3" forward, twice All-State basketballer. He also helped Conway get a runner-up finish in 1981 Class 4A basketball. He played in the All-Star game, was the most outstanding player of that game. But on the track was maybe even better. He was a long jumper and high jumper, and he always won both events, 20 guaranteed points at every track meet. And he helped Conway win the 1981 state track championship. And at the meet of champs, dig this, he jumped 7 feet, 1 inch, which set the high school record that stood for decades. It took decades for that to finally be broken. And of course, it is still the school record. He went on to play basketball at Hendrix College.
One of the more recent additions that you've done to the Hall of Fame is the recognition of special teams in Wampus Cat lore. And this year, it's a special football team.
It really is. It really is. The 1967 football team won the Class 2A state championship. Now, believe it or not, in those days, there was no playoffs. They had no AAA playoffs, and so it was a poll, kind of like college football used to be. They voted each week. The AP would vote. Conway went 10-1. Their only loss was to 3A Power North Little Rock. They barely lost the game by a touchdown. They went 10-1, won their region, really ran the table in 2A. And at the end of the season, they were voted the 2A state champions. And there's just a lot of guys still around Conway. From that, Dennis Fulmer was their coach. He was deceased, but a lot of guys are really excited and are going to come out and have a big time at the banquet.
Once again, David, for the information for this particular event in August, can you give us that again?
Sure. It's August 18th. That's a Friday at the Conway High School cafeteria. Starts at 5:30 reception, 6:30 banquet and dinner. And if you need tickets, just contact the Conway High School Athletic Department, Beth Flusmeyer. She can hook you up with tickets, tables, and sponsorship information.
He is David Grimes. And David, we thank you not only for your work with the Hall of Fame, but also what you do for our great city. Thanks, David.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you to our guest for joining us, and thank you for watching. If you have a story idea, please send it to us. The email address is here and there at conwaycorp.com.